This is Beth from Heavenly Harvest Homestead coming to you today on this not so sunny day. It's cloudy here in North Carolina, and we're going to do our garden walk of the week. And we're going to start in our front yard, and we're going to show you our crabapple tree. And look at our crabapple tree this year. We had an early spring and things started blooming. We had some water, some good water and all that, and things bloomed early and then turned around. And in the month of July, August, we had 37 days between there of no rain, and I don't know if it stunted my crab apples growth, but this is what we ended up having in our harvest. So it was sad, and they're drying up on it. So they'll probably all fall off with the leaves. And then you have Mr. Gizmo again this morning. He'll follow me around. He is been fed. He is just my sidekick. So we're going to walk over here to the other part of our yard, and we see that our pear trees, they have all, on this one, lost their leaves. And if you'll look right here in our garden bed, you got azaleas. You got some rose bushes trying to come back. You got a lot of weed eating and pulling of grass that needs to be done. But we got some lemon balm. So you still have some mint. Our hibiscus are being changed by the weather. We got 3 more bushes of blueberries before the end of the season, and still got some green growth on one, but you got the leaves turning brown and falling off. Gonna have to prune, come out here and prune. So there'll be a lot of pruning and a lot of cleaning up. And that's just our Japanese maple. It's just there for looks because it's nice and pretty. But right up here, we've got some chocolate basil that is seeding out. And I'm going to take this today and I'm going to put it in an envelope. And I'm going to save it for next year or to give to my daughters to plant in their yard. So we'll go back down here. You'll see that my lavender is still going. It's popping out to seed. I'm going to do the same thing with these, with this nice bright lavender seeds. I'm going to pick them off. I'll put them in an envelope and save them for next year. I believe the lavender will come back, but I don't believe the marigolds will. I think they're annuals. And we have sage is coming out, and it's got seeds, and we're going to use those seeds for next year. Everything that has seeded out in my garden, I will save the seeds and use the seeds for next year, because there's nothing like free seeds. And shout out to Baker Creek and the Stivers for all the free seeds that we got the other day, and the people that came to the harvest celebration that added to it. Y'all rock, because I come home with a lot of seeds, free seeds at that. Love it. Gonna be planting a lot of new stuff, some loofahs, some Cherokee pumpkins, a lot of different things, some pawpaws, and those, we're going to experiment on a lot of stuff and grow a lot of stuff next year just to see if it'll grow. And this is my bee balm. It's coming back. I don't really know if it goes dormant or it just stays there. But I'm assuming that it will, as the season goes on, the leaves will die on it too, and then it'll come back. But this is our other pear tree. It's got a little bit, well, I guess you would say it has a lot more of our leaves on it than what the other one on the other side did. But here are my crepe myrtle trees. They are nice and tall. That one is tall. It started out about the size of that when we moved up here 5-6 years ago. It's our 6th summer. So yeah, so they grow pretty good. So we'll take some of these seeds that are fixing to drop on them, and we'll pot some of these and get them growing, give them away, sell them, what have you on them. And we'll take some to my daughter and put some in the woods, the seeds, and let them grow, because she just paid for 5, but there's nothing like free. Repurpose. And this is our angel red pomegranate tree. Is it a tree or is it a bush? I think it looks like a bush, like a blueberry bush. But it may end up and turn into a tree. And those will die out, and hopefully it'll grow back, with a lot of lavish, luxurious pomegranates on it that we can partake. And all of my okra has dried up. I'm going to dry these pods out. Still a little moist there, but I'm going to dry that pod out and take them, cut them open, and use those seeds. And look at my husband's chili peppers. His Tabasco chilies are still rocking on. The last 2 nights it's been cold. It's been a little frosty Sunday night and the Monday morning, and it didn't bother these babies. As you can see with everything else, their leaves are turning. Hadn't touched this baby, so we're gonna let it grow just as long and as soon as we can. And he's got some more of these. I don't know what kind that is. Let's see. These are the mammoth jalapenos. So we got some jalapenos coming out, and that's gonna be good. Goes along with the ones my grandsons are growing in the greenhouse, and we'll go to the greenhouse in a minute. But here's a fig tree. The other fig tree lost its limbs already, but this one still has it, which you can see. You got the brown spots. They're drying up. They will eventually fall off, and as you can see, you got some new growth. So this will all come back, and when it comes back next year, we'll have some nice, voluptuous, luxurious, sweet tasting excuse me, my attention's caught on this. I need to pull the tarp back on the bees, because Ken's got to see them. They're on their front porch. Ken's got to put a bottom on the up underneath, because he has a hollow bottom, so they could go in and build combs and stuff. So he's got to seal that off. So we were concerned about them getting cold last night and dying, but they didn't. They're out working and everything, so he'll come home today. He had a double shift yesterday, so he's coming in. He's going to put that bottom on that. And you see, don't be scared of the bees. You see how close I got to them and what they were doing to me. And then yesterday, I had the privilege to feed the bees. And it's sugar water. Got you a little mason jar with some holes in the bottom of it. And we're feeding the bees. And this little thing right here, the sugar water goes down in that, and they drink it from the other side. And you just saw a bubble, I'm sure. May not have caught it on camera, but I seen a bubble. So that means they're drinking it. You see they're all over it. They're nice and happy. So you feed them so they'll go into their hive and build the comb so we can have some honey. And here's what's left of the the other herb garden that had all the basil, had all the had some dill, had some basil, had some oregano. It had all of that. It was in here, and it's already been turned over, processed, and I'm fixing to plant. I don't know tomorrow if I'm going to plant garlic in it or if I'm going to plant onions in it. I don't know. But hit the comments and tell me what you think is digging in my garden. The one reason I wanted to do this garden walk today instead of using the one that I taped yesterday is because I want y'all to tell me what's digging in my garden. I think I know, but let me let you just take a look at it from end to end and let me see what you think is doing it. I think it's my ducks. I think by the holes that it's leaving right here, like these holes, that's bill holes. So I think they're coming in here and they are getting the worms that have ate up my cabbage. And see, I even had one just starting to head right there. I'm gonna leave it alone and see if it'll mate the inside. But a lot of these I'm gonna have to thin out, and I'm wondering if that's what they did. If my ducks come in here and just ate all the worms that was in here. I'm hoping that they did. But if you guess ducks or a cat, now I can see a cat, but not those little bitty holes. Maybe a big dig spot, but not them big old holes. I think it's my ducks. But we got broccoli growing, nice and sweet. Broccoli's growing. I got to eat a serving of it the other day. And like I said, the worms got it too. So we're going to have to put some diatomaceous earth on it later today. I want to wait until after the rain because the rain will just wash it off. So after it dries a little bit after the rain, I'm going to come out here and I'm going to put some on here. And here I've got some broccoli that has already bolted. So it's good seed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it right now in my hand. And where they have opened up the earth here, I'm just going to put the broccoli seeds. If it happens, something grows there, woo! If not, it's just an experiment. A lot of our first year here doing this on YouTube and doing it with these raised beds, you're going to see that we have a lot of experimenting, growing different things going on. But here's my carrots. You have the first session that was grown. Then you had the second session that was grown. Now you've got the third session. And like I said, we've got these little holes. But my white Paris lettuce is growing excellent. Can't ask for a better head of lettuce. So, and that's the thing. They're not messing with my plants or eating my plants. They are just disturbing the soil around it. And this is my Buttercrisp lettuce. And look how nice that is. That's going to be some good eating, y'all. Some good eating. And I may even go in there and get some more seeds of this, since it's a hardy plant seed, and plant some more. And these are collards. We already have about 6 or 7 servings of this, and in our family we don't eat a lot of collards. We may eat it 4 or 5 times a year. So I froze 6 or 7 bags of them. And with that, it's going to make that many servings. So I did about 16 ounces, and that's what would be in a can. So we've got some servings out of this I have to go do, and I'll have one more from this, and then we'll pull it up, and we'll be done with this. And then we're going to harvest the dill. Just as soon as I get done, I'm going to come out here and I'm going to cut the dill. We're going to dry it, and we're going to have it. There's nothing like this. And I picked up something the other day that I did not know, and that was if you plant dill around your squash, you won't have, it deters the squash bugs. Not that you won't have them, it's just that it won't be close to where the dill is growing. So we're going to try that next year. We're gonna buddy up. We're gonna buddy up on a lot of our stuff that we're planting, and you know, if it's good for that and it will deter this, it's gonna be, it's gonna be planted on the other row of it to help cultivate it and help it grow and help it, be successful and have a good harvest out of it. Right here is some parsley that's left of it. We're going to get it because that frost, that good North Carolina frost is coming. We've just had some cold mornings, but we hadn't had none yet. That was actually to have it to where you had to get the scraper out and scrape the frost off the window. That's when I expect everything to die off. But right now, this is what we have. These are going to be pulled up. These we're going to let go a little bit longer. We've got a bunch of banana peppers that are coming up, and I don't want to pull them until the frost kills them. So we're going to let them continue to go because we don't have anything that we're going to put in this bed right now. So we're just going to let it do its deal. Come in here and I got a worm right here. See, that is what it looks like, y'all. Nice and wormy. And we're going to give that to the chickens over here. So, you still got bell peppers going, but you see how the worms got through it. Ate them. And I got one big pepper over here that is growing that we'll have. And the cucumbers, even though we've still got a couple of blossoms, I think they've about played out. Grass is coming in here. We're going to have to get that out. And then here's that kohlrabi. And again, I don't know a lot about the kohlrabi. I'm going to have to do some, the worms got into it too. So I'm going to have to see if it's even, that I can salvage it. Or even how big these things are going to get. So we'll let you know when I find out. And then we have some kale. We bought some kale that was on clearance, and it popped up. And then we have Ken's Carmen peppers. I harvested 2 buckets full yesterday, so they're quite bare, but at the same time, you got little onesie twosies that are still coming on. Got bees, bees, bees. I love seeing bees. Yesterday I saw bees in my holly bush. And when I find them in my holly bush, I'm like, yes, yes. Because holly bush, of course, always blooms around this time, and you have them red, and that's what a lot of people decorate their house with at Christmas time is the holly bushes, because they have red on them and for the berries, and nice and good. But here's my greenhouse. If you haven't seen my greenhouse, this is my greenhouse. We will, with this video, we will either at the beginning or the end have some pictures of the greenhouse and its build. We did not film it. We are still green. By the time that we realize we need to film something, it's already built or we've already completed it. So we just need to get one of them little, keep our phones on hand, or get one of them little GoPros and just go with it and just go. We've got our compost pile. It's got to be turned because now we've got grass coming up in it, and that's not the way that you want it. You want to turn it and keep it hot and keep the water in it and everything. That way it can break down the soil. But here inside, we've got, in this bucket, we've still got one of the Grand Boys, their watermelon seed that they planted. It's still holding on. And you can see it's got a cute little thing. But what I found in here yesterday is where I was fighting ants outside, I'm fighting them inside too. And y'all look, I might have, you got this one and you got this one growing. We might just have some greenhouse watermelon. And my tomatoes have come up. I've got to come in here and I've got to thin these boogers out because I only want these two to be here. And like I said, I found that the ants got into that yesterday, so I had to put the poison out on it. And it doesn't look like there's no activity, so we're going to sweep that up. But I've got 3 in this pot. Got to get all them suckers out, all them little bitty ones. And then we have another jalapeno plant that I told you when we were showing the other jalapeno plant up here, that this is another one of the Grand Boys. Just throw a seed in the bucket and see what happens. And we moved them into the greenhouse and it tend to perk up. So what I do with the greenhouse is at night I shut it, or when the sun goes down I shut it. But because we've been at like 50 degrees, sometimes in the daytime, well, most of the time in the last 3 days, I've come out here and opened it up and just let the bees come in and let the warmth come in and water them and everything. So we've got some persimmon seeds that are coming out. And we've got some banana pepper seeds coming up. And like I said, everything that I do in here is going to be an experiment over the winter, because I just want to see if I can grow something. Just want to see if I can grow something. So that is that. And we're going to go around. The goats, as you can hear, they're pretty happy this morning. They've already been fed. All the animals have been fed. As I showed you on, you'll see on, Mondays will come out before this, so you will see Mondays probably today or tomorrow, and you're going to see how happy they were to see us and how happy we were to see them when we were going on our visit this past weekend to Kentucky. But we've got some shrubs on the other side, and we've got some peach pits growing in there. If they grow, they grow. If they don't, they don't. And here's my soil box that when a plant doesn't make it or we have leftover soil, I totally just bring it back, dump it in there, keep it turned over so I can have some soil to do. And these are my babies. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And if you watched yesterday's video, you got to see them. So we're going to come back up here before we stop. And we're going to talk about one thing. I cannot keep this hat on my head for nothing. Just want to have that camo look this morning. A camo hat, camo glasses. Just camo. If there was such thing as camo color would be my favorite color. But it's my favorite pattern. So we're going to walk back up here, and we have, this is where we had our German Johnsons and our big boys, our better boys. And they are gone. They did not make good this year, and I think it's from the worms. And maybe that we planted too many too close. So we're going to cultivate it as we did right now with clovers. And this is where I just throw all of my scraps. because right now I don't have a pig. So what my pig would eat, my chickens don't eat, my pigs would eat, but they're not here or here. And I know the eggshells the chickens can eat, but I want to put some calcium in this ground because I want it to do just as much as this is doing. This, as you can see, is off our back porch. And during the winter, when you're cooking, and I was cooking for mine and my daughter's family last year about this time, so we would have leftover peeling seeds and stuff like that. I would just come out here and I would scrape all of it into this compost, the peelings from the potatoes, peelings from the bananas, peelings from the oranges and stuff, things that would go bad. And this has been, didn't plant it. These come from organic tomatoes that I bought from the store. And I just, as I was cleaning out their plates, I just scraped it into here and it grew. And this is how big it grew. And it's still growing. And and the thing about this, I don't know what it is, but the greenhorn worms got into it a little, but not a lot. So this one just keeps on kicking. And in the midst of it, if you can see right here, see this thing? This is a peach tree. And that come from a pit that grew. And all of this was voluntary. I did not plant that. Everything was voluntary. So compost does work. It does. It makes it rich in nitrogen, all the minerals that it needs. And all you've got to do is just scrape the stuff off in it, and it volunteers. We don't mess with that. It's whatever grows out of it, grows out of it. And I got, because of the squash bugs, got my squash, my butternut squash over there, because it takes longer for that to grow than it does zucchini and yellow squash. The squash bugs got it because, again, we don't put poison on our stuff. I mean, we could have had a great harvest had we come out here and just laid the poison to it. But we're not going to lay the poison to it because we are trying to be conscientious about what we put in our bodies. You know, preservatives and you know, we want to try to eat better. You know, and it's not just in our journey to lose weight, it's in our journey to put less chemicals in our body too, because the more chemicals you put in your body, the closer you are to death. And it's not that I'm scared of dying, because I know that when I die, I'm going straight to heaven because I've been saved by grace, and I know Jesus is my personal Savior, and I know that the other side of this life is eternity. So I'm not scared of death, but I don't want to poison myself with chemicals, because you bring on, if you indulge in that, just like a smoker, just like an alcoholic, just like me that overeats, you cause your situation that you're in because you are putting these things in your body. And I am overweight. I'm a chunky girl, and my weight goes up and down with yo-yo, like a yo-yo. I'm going through menopause. I'm 48 and fixing to be 50. I'm going through menopause, and life just gets me. I like to eat, but I've come to know that I really need to eat to sustain my body, not because it tastes good or because I feel like it's that time of the day, or that I need to eat that because it's going to go to waste. Because I am shortening my days by putting more weight on my skeleton, my body, my mass. So you'll see in our upcoming videos, if you go back to some of ours in the past, you'll see that we're growing chicken, we're growing turkeys, we've processed the chicken, we've processed the pigs, we'll be getting pigs again, and that way, that stuff, I mean, just yesterday, looking in the store for a meat now, that did not have sugar in it, or a canned vegetable that did not have sugar in it to keep the preservatives, to help the preservatives along, to keep the color right, and to keep it tasting good, they put all this junk in there. They put all this stuff. If you can't pronounce it, you don't need to be eating it. When you turn it over and it says blah 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 blah, don't get it. You need to turn it over and maybe see salt, water, boom. That's what you need. The less chemicals that you put in your food, the better. And that's why we're growing our food. That's why we started our goat herd. That's the reason why my husband deer hunts. That's the reason why we're growing the turkey, our fowl with our turkey and our chickens, and we're fixing to get meat chickens in this week. And they are just so much better. We have layers that lay our own eggs. It's been 5 years since we bought our own eggs. Unless we run out of them because of the fact that we needed to increase our population. That was the one and only time that we did it, But now we have learned to keep it on a rotation thing. So as you've got these biddies coming out, these younger biddies that are coming in is going to take their place, and then you can use those older biddies to make your stock, your chicken stock, your chicken broth, and just like we're going to do with deer and goat, we're going to make our beef broth, and we're going to do our vegetable next year. We'll have our ends and stuff and have some vegetables instead of putting them into the compost all the time. There's going to be certain things that we put to the side to make our vegetable broth, and we're going to have that. And you know that you can make a meal out of that you don't have to put nothing in there, because it has all the vitamins and minerals and things that you need in that vegetable broth and in that beef broth and in that chicken broth that you need. It's good for the body at that time. If your body needs some protein, drink that beef broth, man, and that chicken broth. If you need some vitamin K or need some vitamin C or something like that, eat your vegetables. Eat your vegetable broth. And it's a world of discovery that we're coming through. And we'll just share a little bit more about those. I mean, I know I'm running on and you're just like, da 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 da. She's telling me all this. But anyway, like I said, it's not about the weight. It's about keeping your body healthy. It's like my car. I have a Dart, so I love my Dart. I like the way it drives and everything else, but when she gets dirty on the inside, I got to clean her up, clean her out, and that's what you're going to do when you start eating right, is you're going inside, you're helping the inside of your body to do better, to really to give you more energy, to help your mood swings, to help everything in your life, just to be healthier, so you can fight off the flu, so you can fight off this infection, so you don't put this chemical, this poison in your body. Does anybody realize truly what they put in chicken and in meat when it goes through the processing line? Think about that for a minute. Think about a little bit of embalming fluid that they put in there to keep it looking good, to keep it like that. You are ingesting a wee bit of embalming fluid every time you eat chicken. That's why I don't eat it from the store anymore. And I've got to get myself out of that to where I eat it at restaurants too. And we went to the harvest celebration this past weekend, and we met a lady, and we were having a conversation with her about our journey and where our journey was going. And she asked us one plain question: then why are you here at this free breakfast bar eating all this stuff? And I'm going to tell you what a lot of people say: because it's the food that's put in front of us. We're not at home where we could open our refrigerator and get out the things that we grow, so we eat this stuff that initially can be bad for you. It can poison your body. You're putting these chemicals, these toxins in your body. And we just need to get back to where we were 100 years ago, to where there was no fast food. Your fast food was leftovers from the night before and your mama's good home cooking. I mean, we've come a long way in medicine, but we've also hurt ourselves in ways too, just by taking the shortcut. But anyway, let me get off my soapbox and let me finish showing you the roses and the strawberry patch here. So here I have my one last bloom of roses. They're looking sad this morning, but the ones that are blooming are very pretty. And then we've got our strawberry patch going out. And like I said, it was just an experiment. We just threw plants that were over there on the other side where the tomatoes were. We put them in here to give them somewhere, and they just flourished. And we've got blackberry branches all throughout here, and we might just have to move this line and keep it going on into the yard to where it meets from there to there. That'd be great to me, for all that to just be strawberry and blackberries. That would just tickle me pink. But anyway, that concludes our garden walk today. It concludes our talk about what we need to eat. Like I said, we'll go on a journey. We'll sit down and we'll have a live maybe this time next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we'll put it in our on our channel when we're gonna come live, and we'll talk about the journey that we are fixing to start, about going further than just growing our meat, what we have found out about, keeping your body clean and everything. So I'm going to sign off for now. Just remember, if you like what you saw, hit that subscribe button. If you like it so much that you want to share it with your girlfriend or your friend or a friend, if you're a man and you're watching this, because this is a family-oriented channel, if you saw this and you want to share it with anyone, just hit that share button. But also, always hit that notification bell. That way you'll know when we post new, and so you don't miss our content. Because right now, it's been about 2 weeks. So the people that have already subscribed, when this comes on, it'll be like ding, 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 and they'll be like, hot dog. She finally put a new video up. Yes. But anyway, just know that I appreciate you. I appreciate you watching us. I appreciate you giving your time to listen to what we have to say. And like I said, share, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And know we love you, we appreciate you, and as I always say, and this is true to my heart, God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. Thanks, and have a great day.